If you enjoy these videos, please on my mama hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks. Now back to the video. What is the most NSFW thing you have witnessed at a party? Halloween night. After drunken truth or dare, I walked in on my so's brother and cousin going to town on each other. Edit. Neither of them were involved in the drinking. Well then, that edit sure changes a bunch of shit. Dude ran to the bathroom, yelled I got a shit, then pulled his pants down, sat his ass on the toilet, and puked on the floor in front of him. Realizing his mistake, he stood up, faced the toilet to puke, and shat on the floor behind him. Walked in on my best friend's little sister sucking two guys' dicks at one time. I quietly exited and never spoke a word, lol. A while back I was too young to be at a party and this girl ran out of one of the kitchen buck naked, started twerking on the wall. Her boyfriend rushed into the room, literally picked up his GF and started to carry her to his car. The whole time they were walking to the car she kept yelling about how she couldn't wait for the dick tonight. I was 14 visiting my 19 years old cousin. I wasn't ready. This dude I know brought his girl to one of our parties and she got wasted and got up on the coffee table and started stripping for us. He was a kind of passive type too, so all he did was just kind of sadly plead, "Baby, come on. Baby, come on. What are you doing? Get down from the table. Please. Baby." It was really sad, but she ignored him and gave us a strip show for like 45 minutes. Our CEO had a Super Bowl party at his new giant house for all of the company employees. There was probably 30-40 people there. As the night goes on, everyone is pretty drunk and he's that type of guy who loves to party and is handing out shots all night. Then one of the new guys we just hired can't hold it anymore and pukes on the back patio. Crowd freaks out and the CEO walks up and tells him if he will eat it off the ground, he will pay him $100. Puking guy looks at his disappointing look on his wife's and then turns and says he'll do it for $1,000. CEO busts out $1,000 cash. I guess he just walks around with it. A spoon appears out of nowhere and he proceeded to eat it off the ground. Crowd freaks out. CEO tells him he would have paid him $10,000. Worst part is, Monday morning the CEO fired him saying we can't work with people that would do something like that. WTF. Imagine how his interview for the next job went. Interviewer: so why did you leave your most recent position? Puking guy: gimme a spoon and $1,000 and I'll show you. A stripper whipping my boss with his own belt. I was 15, and this was a McDonald's staff party. Update: as I have a lot of replies asking for context clarification, the stripper was perfectly normal, not Mayor McCheese or some other nightmarish Macca's character. This wasn't a strip club. It was held at an employee's house as the franchisee forbade us from using the store or hiring an actual venue. Some of the older guys booked her as it had been his birthday recently and he had just worked. We were all drinking, and as she was a private hire nobody got ID'd. Also, you can work at 14 where I live, Australia, and work is exactly what I did. I guess your boss was loving it. But I love it, he said, with a shake of his head, and was swiftly arrested at fault. Cause to all our surprise, he attacked her with fries, and was taken and charged with assault. Friend hired a prostitute for his day party and she proceeded to bang any guy who wanted it. None of them even knew. They all thought she was some chick who was visiting from Georgia. They still tell the story like she wasn't a prostitute. Please wear protection, please wear protection. When I was still in college, I was at a sorority party with my then girlfriend. A woman, probably a freshman, was on the floor, ass up, pants and panties to her ankles, funnel in her ass, and people were pouring shots in her asshole. I was too high, drunk and stupid back then to realize that this could easily have killed her and I just left the room with my GF. Had this happened today, I definitely would have intervened, but back then I was just like, whoa dude. She lived, so it's all good. And that woman is now a state senator. What a career. At a high school house party back in 2012, this one girl got so cross-faded, drunk and high, and I accidentally walked in on her in the restroom. She was peeing on the floor right next to the toilet, like, straight up, had her pants and panties around her ankles, hands on her knees, and was just letting loose. She didn't seem embarrassed by me witnessing this, but she said she didn't want to contaminate clean water, and that someone might wanna drink that. That was one of my more confused boners. Watched a guy lose at beer pong and get mad enough that he turned around and punched the first thing he could land his hand on, which turned out to be a window. In the movies, if you break a window, you don't get hurt. In real life, if you slam your fist through a window, the falling glass cuts you so deep you practically amputate your own hand. There was so much blood that we thought that was what happened. We thought he sliced his hand off. One of the sober partiers rushed him to the hospital while the rest of us just left because the scene involved so much blood and gore that none of us even wanted to party anymore. He ended up okay. Has a gnarly scar for the rest of his life, but at least he didn't actually lose his hand. Yup, seen this same kind of thing happen. It's a fucking bloodbath. Looks like some literally got murdered there. Some kid at a nearby high school almost died when he ran into a glass door and tried to stop himself with his hands. Glass broke. Hands went right through. Both wrists cut open. Blood everywhere. A few of us were sitting in a room smoking up when a drunk guy came running in. He looked at us, pulled his pants down and lit his pubes on fire while shouting bushfire. That man is truly a god. My girlfriend and I watched two guys fuck her best friend in a shower. It was just that kind of party. If your girlfriend's best friend wants to show you and your girlfriend something like this, I'm pretty sure you could put together a three-way. Way ahead of you, sir. Back in high school, friend had an open house and threw a party. Uncle came to check on us, and we found him smelling a girl's vomit in the bathroom and playing with himself. That's one fucked up fetish. Back in high school, friend had an open house and threw a party. Uncle came to check on us, and we found him smelling a girl's vomit in the bathroom and playing with himself. That's one fucked up fetish. Partying in the barracks. My room had all the beer in the fridge. I was going down on this girl when I felt a hand on my left shoulder. Briefly paused to look up when my buddy says, "Carextant, you're doing a great job." I just needed to grab a beer. I went right back to what I was doing. Friend's mom blowing a bunch of teens. At a party in a huge house on the lake that had a second living room upstairs. Walking up the stairs I can hear all this commotion going on. As I enter the room there is this guy smashing a chick on the couch, doggy style, right there in front of everyone. He was getting high fives from other guys and people were just standing around watching and cheering. Well, a few years later, I get married and at Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws when my brother-in-law brings his new girlfriend to meet the family. You guessed it, it was her. Same girl that was getting smashed on the couch. Well, he ended up getting married to this girl and now every time I see them at a family get together all I can see is the image from that night at a lake. Did you ever tell him? Nah, I never told him. Didn't have the heart. I did tell my wife however, about her new sister's fun-filled past. Happened at my house. Girl came over, got way too drunk, took off all her clothes and started masturbating on my stairs and then on the couch and then back on my stairs. Then she fell down said stairs. We tried putting her to bed before all this went down, but she kept coming back out, each time with less and less clothes on. Eventually we all just kinda ignored her and let her do her thing. Edit. I just wrote this out if order. We tried putting her to bed multiple times first. Each time she came out she had fewer and fewer clothes on until she was naked. Then she started doing her thing. I saw the guy exchange a bump of cocaine for temporary use of a phone charger. They both wanted to recharge it. Well, I'll be damned. I was at a Halloween party in the last year of high school, where two friends of mine had a threesome with a girl in the bathtub while one other girl watched. That's how my friend lost his virginity. Best 37 seconds of his life. Ha. I let a friend of mine join once. I knew he wasn't the best with girls but didn't realize in 20 years he'd never even gotten a blowjob. It was an awkward 10 seconds followed by an even more awkward evening. We were throwing a house party for one of our roommates that was turning 21. Said birthday boy was wasted fairly early in the night and was placed in the bathtub with the curtain drawn. Their logic was that he could sleep and if he threw up he'd be in the tub. A couple hours later this girl shows up. She was a friend of a friend. 18, maybe 5 foot tall super white girl who just got off her shift at Twin Peaks. As the mostly sober host, I welcomed her and went outside to have a cigarette. Maybe 15 minutes later I return inside to find the tiny white girl on the floor puking into a trash can. Well, that escalated quickly, but not shocking considering her size. The start of the weirdness was that she was conversing with my friend Daniel in fluent Spanish. Oh, Okay, so she speaks Spanish. A little surprising, but whatever. So between Heaves, Daniel and I help her to the bathroom to pray to the porcelain god. She wants to shut the bathroom door. I say sure, but not to lock the door so we can get in there if she passes out, to make sure she doesn't, die. Of course, as soon as she goes in, she locks the door. What we had forgotten was that birthday boy was asleep in the tub. He was awoken by what he described as the worst smelling shit he had ever smelled in his life. Not wanting to let this random girl know he was hiding in the bathtub, he did his best to keep quiet through the gagging. Tiny girl had diarrhea so rank that she decided that she was too embarrassed to face the party. Her solution? Climb out the tiny bathroom window. When we got the door unlocked and went in, we found her halfway out the window, her shit covered thong on the floor, and birthday boy pale and sweating in the tub after his unwanted birthday surprise. She slept on her side on the couch with a female friend to watch over her. The next morning she claimed to not remember a thing and swears she doesn't know a word of Spanish. Thanks for making it to the end. You're the best. Thanks for watching, friend. Don't forget to smack that like button and subscribe for more of the best content. See you next time.